let's jump right into this. You were diagnosed how long ago, and how did that diagnosis come about?
I was diagnosed in August of 2018 with clear cell Mullerian carcinoma. And about 6 months prior to that, I was just laying down in my bed and I noticed that the left half of my abdomen was slightly higher than the right side. And I'm a bigger girl, and usually when you're bigger, when you lay down, everything goes flat. So I started feeling along my abdomen, along my C-section scar, and I felt a little bump. And I called my sister, who also had a C-section, and I asked her, is your scar bumpy? And she said it's bumpy, it's scar tissue, but this just felt like a little more. So I went to my primary care physician, had an appointment with her, and she said, sometimes, because I had a C-section, a hole will develop in fluid and skin, and it develops into a cyst. So she couldn't tell anything from just feeling it and asked me to have an ultrasound. So I had an ultrasound, and she really couldn't tell from the ultrasound. It was kind of vague. She was thinking it was about a 4-centimeter cyst. So she asked me to see a surgeon. I went to see the surgeon, and he really couldn't see anything as well. So, I am now getting a little nervous over what's going on. And I have a cousin that works at Mass General. So I said, I'm going to elevate this. And I transferred all my records over to Mass General in Boston. And I got a call from a surgeon there. And he said, I want you to come in and see me. And he said, it's the sarcoma and carcinoma unit. I knew exactly what those words were. And of course, hearing that, you automatically elevate to, the panic level. And he said, it's just the unit that deals with soft tissue. It's not necessarily anything bad. So I went in and I wound up having a dye contrast scan. And he wound up telling me this, in fact, is not a 4-centimeter cyst. This is a 10-centimeter tumor in my abdominal wall. And due to the size of it, it has to come out. But he wanted to do a biopsy. He really didn't know, is it entangled in my intestine, my bowel? They couldn't really tell, and they really didn't have a good idea of what they were going to find until they went in, because it had to come out. So I had a biopsy done, and he called me 2 days after, and he said the needle stick biopsy came back with inconsistencies. So I said inconsistencies, and he said malignancies, which obviously I know what that is. And he said, I'm going to wait for the full biopsy to come back. Sure enough, it came back, and it was cancer. So.
And this was in your ovary? Where was this in your?
It was in my abdomen. So they think what happened is when I had a C-section, after they closed me up, cells from my uterus got into my abdomen and attached to the back of my C-section scar in my abdomen, and the tumor grew. And it grew for about 22 years. I had no idea I had this. There was no blood tests. I wasn't feeling anything. Nothing was coming in anything. And I had just actually played a softball tournament. I was feeling great. And obviously to hear that, it's very jarring. Your life in an instant changes. And I was trying to be good and not catastrophize right away. But I knew the course of treatment we set was the tumor has to come out. And it was a large surgery, because they did the tumor removal. They had to take out a good portion of my abdominal wall, full hysterectomy, and I had to get a biologic mesh implant put in to take the place of what they were taking out of my abdomen. And it really isn't ovarian cancer, but it's the closest thing. So they follow the protocol for ovarian cancer. And after the surgery and the tumor removal, it was chemotherapy was the treatment. So that is what I had to do. And I don't really have a stage or a grade of cancer. What I have is, the flower you pick and you blow it and it goes everywhere. It's kind of like that. There's cells that are floating all in my body, and they attach. And obviously when I have scans, they light up, and I went through 3 rounds of chemo. It moved into my lymph nodes, into my left groin, and then it started to move into my skin. So 3 rounds of chemo and radiation, and my cancer never really abated. And
did it stop it from progressing though? Is that, did it?
For short periods of time, it did. For 3 or 4 months, it wouldn't, and then it would come back a little bit more aggressive each time.
So you were running out of options.
Yeah, I really was. The last round of chemo I had was a drug called doxorubicin, and it is one of the strongest and harshest chemotherapy treatments, and I got very sick. I lost a lot of weight. I was fatigued. I couldn't eat. And it was basically 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on a banana peel. And my oncologist at Mass General said there is a clinical trial that you may qualify for, and it's only for clear cell cancers. And previous studies had been done, I believe, mostly with kidney cancer.
Yes.
So, and you have to be relatively, cancer aside, you have to be relatively healthy to be able to be in the study. And I was just so fortunate to get into the study. And my first treatment on immunotherapy was July 29th, 2021. It took about 3 months, and I started to know the difference because I was home and I walked up the stairs, and I just walked up the stairs. Normally I had to walk 1 step at a time, and I had to stop halfway through because I was just so fatigued and tired, and my body hurt. And I remember getting to the top of the stairs and this realization, I just walked up the stairs with no help, and I didn't have to stop. And it just, all of a sudden I realized this is working, and the lesions on my skin were going away, and I was feeling so much better. My appetite was coming back. My mental clarity was coming back, and everything. And I just actually had my last scan. Every 8 weeks, I have a scan in the clinical trial. And since the day I started in July till today, I've had a 70% reduction of the cancer in my body solely due to this clinical trial.
That is amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. It is saving my life. And I'm so grateful, and I'm so fortunate because I didn't have any options. The oncologist told me if this didn't work out, I most likely would have succumbed to my cancer within a year or 2.
Now, do you drive from Tewksbury to here, or is it?
I do. Every 2 weeks on a Thursday, I drive from Tewksbury down to Providence, Rhode Island to Lifespan Cancer Center.
How long is that drive?
Luckily, I really haven't had any bad weather, but it's about an hour and a half.
It's not bad if this is saving your life.
No, absolutely. And a lot of people, oh my God, you drive from Massachusetts. There is no amount of time that I would complain to drive to save my life, because it's not only just my physical well-being, but everything, my emotional well-being. It really makes you realize what's important in your life and what is background noise. And I've been very lucky to have an incredible support with my family, with my medical staff, and my friends, that I've just really been able to recover on such a higher level, and really appreciate all the benefits that go along. That sometimes we let work and we let stress get all up in things and not realize what the important things are. And I work very hard now to not let any of that just get in my way.
And you have twins.
I do. I have identical twin girls. They will be 25 in July. And, it's hard because as the parent, they come to you for everything. They rely on you. And I know they were scared for a long time, and it broke my heart. In the beginning, when I was diagnosed, I was concerned with me. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And then after the second time that it came back, what really bothered me was I have to go tell my family this again, and after the first round of treatment, I lost my hair, and everyone's really hopeful that you recover from this. And it took a long time for me to realize. I felt like I gave everyone I loved cancer, but I had to forgive myself for that. And I had to make myself well and be strong for myself before I could be good for anybody else.
And of course, you want to be around for any grandkids you might have. Or...
Oh, absolutely. Not too soon. But absolutely. And it is all those little things. It's, you know, I don't want to be cliche about anything, but it is a beautiful sunset, a really nice blue sky, no clouds, a really good cup of coffee, the way the spring smells and, you know, leaves in the fall. And you don't really realize until there's the potential that those things are taken away from you. And it is so daunting to try to compartmentalize all of that and realize it. But I just decided I'm going to live every day and try to find one thing a day to be happy about. And I'm okay with that.
So you will continue this treatment forever? How long?
Yes. Unlike chemotherapy, there really are no harsh side effects. You know, I'm handling this really well. I'm able to, it doesn't limit my mobility. I'm not fatigued. I'm able to eat. I basically have my life back, and I can continue as long as I have good results. And there'll really be no harsh side effects like with a chemo or a radiation.
How many rounds of chemo did you go through?
I went through 3 rounds of chemo and 1 round of radiation.
Wow. So, I mean, gosh, in another year, it could be all gone. I mean, Dr. Dizon says he's seen tumors just simply melt away. And it seems like you're responding. Some don't, some do.
Yes. And I'm hoping August 2023 will be basically 2 years that I've been on this study. And all indications are that it's working, and I've had no new growth in my cancer and significant shrinkage of what I do have. And that is my goal, to get to remission and, you know, put a lot of this in the rearview mirror, but be cognizant of, I still have to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle. And I think a lot of it is emotional too. Not a lot of stress, keep frustrations down, and just be positive. And anything I can do to, you know, bring light to immunotherapy and the amazing effects it's having. I wish it was the standard of care that when I started, and I wish I didn't have to go through 3 years of feeling so sick. And I just didn't realize how sick I was until I felt so much better through the trial. I just thought, okay, this is my new normal and I have to adapt. I have limitations, and that really is not the case anymore.
And Dr. Dizon is great.
He's amazing. He is incredible. And everyone, you know, oncology is a very tough field to be in. And in addition to, you know, being brilliant in the study and knowing it, you have to have a really strong emotional makeup to be able to deal with things. And when I first started going, I'm with cancer patients all the time when I go to my appointments, and you're hoping for good news and good outcomes, but there are people sitting next to you that have a death sentence. And it was hard to deal with all that. But luckily, they have an incredible emotional support group there that you're able to reach out, and you're going to feel how you're going to feel, and it's okay. It's okay to feel those things. And they just do a wonderful job of not only dealing with the medical aspect of the disease, but holistically dealing with whatever you need on whatever level. And it's been a wonderful experience for me.
And are you back to work, or are you unable to go back to work?
I am back to work. I'm an underwriter. So I really, except for when I had to go on disability for surgery, I really stayed and worked the whole time. And my company has been amazing and so supportive, and everybody continually checking in. And a lot of people know someone with cancer or have a family member, so they know how taxing that can be. And just the fact that I have so many people being supportive and whatever you need, it's just amazing and so uplifting to be able to have that.
Well, I appreciate you so much sharing your story. You were amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Can I ask what your twin daughters' names are? Because I think we're going to show their pictures.
Oh, Isabella.
I-S.
I-Z-A-B-E-L-L-A.
Wait, say I-Z.
A. Bella, Isabella, and Gianna, Gianna.
And there'll be 25 in July. I mean,
July.
Yeah.
Yes, this July.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story. This will be on tonight at 5:30. We're going to share
it. 5:30? Oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to share this on our website. So you probably don't get us in Tewksbury, but you'll be able to watch it online.
Okay.
You can watch it, and we'll, Rich, you'll send her the link, right?
Yeah, so if you somehow don't catch it live, I will grab the link and I will share it with you.
Oh, awesome. I would really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then we internally here at Lifespan, we share it with our whole internal Lifespan community, but we also use our social media channels to share the stories as well. So yeah, we'd love to get it out there. You should do the same thing after you get the link. Share it with all your friends.
Absolutely. I'm going to do that.
I mean, if we can get the word out to other people with the clear cell cancer, I mean,
yes, it's been amazing results that they've seen, unprecedented results. And like I said, I wish this was the standard of care 3 years ago. But sometimes, you have to go through something and come out the other side. And, I wish I could just quit my job and do nothing but, charitable and humanitarian things with spreading the word with this, because, if there's someone else out there who possibly can get into a clinical trial and have better results and feel better and manage their disease without, it stinks the things that try to make you better, make you so sick.